All right, we're going to get started with this. As I mentioned in my the newsletter, we'll start off with each candidate talking about himself for about 5 minutes. And then after that, we have some prepared questions. We'll ask each of them to answer the same question, and we'll give them about 3 minutes to do his answer. We're going to start with our first candidate, Brett Gissel. Just because I decided Brett's going first, and we'll let Brett talk about Brett Gissel.
Thank you, worthy State Treasurer. Just go over a little bit about me and then my qualifications, why I should be the next state warden for the State Council of Ohio. I've been around the order most of my life, both as a child at many kid and family activities and as an adult and everywhere in between. I learned through observation of what works, what doesn't work. My dad was a Grand Knight for 2 years at my home council, my first home council, the Monsignor Eppenbrock Council in Trenton, Michigan. Both years he was Grand Knight, he won the Star Council Award. My grandpa was also a member of the Knights of Columbus. As a teenager, I got involved with the bingo, got to sell beverages and snacks on the concession cart, which was greatly appreciated by many of the participants. I joined the Columbian Squires in 1987 and then joined the Knights of Columbus in March of 92 and the 4th degree in September of 92 in the 500th anniversary year of Christopher Columbus founding the New World. I originally went to college wanting to go into teaching mathematics. I have a mathematics degree from Michigan State University and have worked in the actuarial field for many years, pricing personal lines insurance and doing a lot of competitive intelligence. I've moved around a little bit and stayed active in my first council. Then when I moved to the Chicago area, and after a few moves, eventually with council that's now my home council, St. Michael and Worthington. During my career, after some thought, I went back to my original career plan to teach math. During the time, I worked as a substitute teacher and even worked building maintenance just to make ends meet while I worked on that. I did that. I eventually got my teaching license and worked for 2 years as a math teacher. Then decided to go back to the business world. I really enjoyed it. And I still miss some things about teaching, but I enjoy working with numbers more than I enjoyed doing the teaching of it. My first role after that was with Humana, where I worked for the last 5 years with my latest role in provider analytics. And I recently switched to working with Deloitte, where I work in the government and public services group. During my time in the Knights of Columbus, I've held offices in the 3rd degree of Inside Guard, Warden, Grand Knight, and Trustee since I've been Grand Knight. In the 4th degree, I've served as the Faithful Inter Sentinel, Faithful Pilot, Faithful Navigator, Faithful Trustee, and Color Corps Commander. You might note that I was never Faithful Captain in the 4th degree, never Deputy Grand Knight in the 3rd degree, because some people weren't willing to move up and I was willing to make that jump. In 2010, in my assembly, the Faithful Captain wasn't ready to move up because he didn't want to be Grand Knight and Navigator at the same time. I took that office, continued that office for 2 years. 2011, similar situation, the Deputy Grand Knight couldn't move up. So I took that role over as well and won that election. I served as Grand Knight and Faithful Navigator for that year. During my 2 years as Faithful Navigator, the Assembly grew by 49 members. That was mostly from me going to visit all 12 councils assigned to the Assembly and actively recruiting. My council also won the Star Council that year, and again the following year in 2012, 2013, in my 2nd year as Grand Knight. I served as district deputy for the next 4 years from 2013 through 2017. I won the Star District Award twice, including 1 year in All Stars District with all 5 councils winning the Star Council Award. I understand that was one of 13 districts in the order to win that year. I've also served as chapter president, Color Corps Commander, State Culture of Life Director, State Faith Director. In our chapter, I've served as Warden, Vice President, and President. I've also served as district pilot, where I worked to streamline the process for honor guard requests and communications and signing up. I've also coordinated things for the Keep Christ in Christmas billboard campaign, our Family Rosary Day activity in the diocese, as well as organizing the diocesan directory for a few years. I've since passed many of those on to other people who've done their improvements as well. My passion with the Knights of Columbus is growing in faith and getting other men and their families to grow in their faith. I do not enjoy the process of getting people involved, doing paperwork and whatnot. My goal is to help break down those barriers and get us to be able to focus more on the things that make us great, and focusing on the bigger picture of faith, family, community, and life activities that will grow our parishes and our members. I believe I hit my 5 minutes.
Yes,
so
I was just going to cut you off, Brett.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay. All right. And now we'll hear from our next candidate, Chris Sarka. Chris?
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brett. Just a little bit about myself. I first of all, I'd like to say I miss this meeting in person as much as everybody else. I think it's great to shake hands and be there to talk to somebody face to face. So I can't wait to get back to that. I grew up in a small town, small farming community in Northwest Ohio, and just have always had a passion for hard work and living out my time serving others. And that's my main reason why I joined the Knights of Columbus, is to serve others. Through that time in that small farm community, I had a chance to actually work with members of the home council there, which I joined 23 years ago, and watched, even at a younger age, my father as a Grand Knight and his passion to lead others and help the community and help the parish. And I've just always wanted to live those same footsteps and live in our faith, live in our works of charity, unity, charity, and brotherhood. It's something that drives me to continue to move forward, be active. I currently reside in New Albany, which is the northeast part of Columbus. And ever since moving here, I've really become more active in my faith, more active in the parish, and transferring to the council and assembly here in Northeast Columbus. I've had a wonderful experience to move through all the chairs in the council and the assembly. I've served many different functions, from officer roles to committee member roles, past Grand Knight, past Faithful Navigator, past chapter president, district deputy, and then now serving as help with our membership team in the state, driving membership in our diocese. And I just, a lot of people are going to wonder, well, what makes somebody qualified? And actually, Brett said something that's really key. It's observing others, learning from others. And that's what I've tried to do with my years in Knights of Columbus, is observe, learn, respect those that have, come before, and see what they've done great and continue to work with that and try to make it better. I think living in our faith is extremely important. I try to remain very active in our parish, a lot for my own benefit, my family benefit, but also to really show others that being strong in our faith is very important as a Knight of Columbus. I've served many roles in our parish, helping out with different activities. I like to help out with our youth group and serve as the youth group adult leader for service projects in the summer. I've co-chaired our dinner dance auctions to raise funds for general funds in the parish, along with helping out Habitat Humanity and our Christian Way schools. I spent a lot of time volunteering different organizations such as VA Hospital, Habitat, Special Olympics, your multiple food banks, shelters, et cetera, et cetera. And the key thing there is, not just to serve in that capacity to help others, but to help others along in serving that capacity, because we need more good Catholic men to jump in and be servants out there to our parish and to our Lord to help others. And combined with my passion in the Knights and my faith, I've been very fortunate in my professional career to oversee many different aspects of running a business, from being a small family business to now working for a large international corporation where I get to manage large capital expenditures, budgets, manage teams. I've been in management for over 20 years. I've been in senior management for over 5 years. And I just, want to try to continue to follow the path to lead and to serve others and grow my own faith and grow with others along the way. With my experience in management, I've done project management, financial analysis, planning, procurement, production operations, engineering, maintenance, fabrication, controls, automation, you name it. I've just always had a passion to keep learning more. And jumping to this next role, that is what I'm going to continue to do, to strive to learn more, to become better at what I do, and to help build a stronger Knights of Columbus and make our order even better than it is today.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cut you off there, Chris. All right, as I mentioned, I have some prepared questions for each of the candidates. We're gonna please keep your answers to about 3 minutes so that we can get several of these questions answered by both of you. Since Brett went first on the bios, I'm going to ask Chris to answer this question first. Okay, what qualifications do you have for this office, and what do you hope to achieve as a state officer and as the officer in charge of your diocese there in Columbus Diocese?
Thank you, Jeff. As I start to talk about with qualifications, I've worked myself up through the ranks. In the 23 years as a Knight of Columbus, I've been very active and try to learn a new position, learn new methodology behind the Knights of Columbus and what we do and how we function as an organization. I've coupled that with my professional experience, work in many different industries, from fabrication to manufacturing. Each position, whether it be professional or Knights of Columbus, I've been fortunate to have good mentorship and growing myself in leadership roles. And, I feel that I've had a lot of different experiences and a fast growing pace in those 23 years in different positions with the Knights or with my professional career, whether it be for our improving continuous improvement strategies or improving efficiencies or budgeting. I've had a chance to live through that and gain those viable traits and skills. And I feel that I can take a lot of that real world experience and help our order.
Okay, good. Okay, Brett, same question. I'll repeat that. What qualifications do you have for this office, and what do you hope to achieve as a state officer and as the officer overseeing your diocese there in Columbus?
Sure, worthy state treasurer. Thank you. I've already covered the offices I've had, but I'll come back to when I jumped to Grand Knight and to Faithful Navigator. I made that jump and was able to succeed in those roles because I was around doing the service, being boots on the ground with our members, doing what needed to get done. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I didn't have the observation skills I have. I'm pretty sure Chris has as well. I've been around Chris long enough that I think he has those same traits. Being able to see what works well and what doesn't. I've seen what has worked well as a district deputy and encouraged the councils that were in my district to make a few changes, and they were able to thrive. I would do the same thing as a state officer, encouraging the DDs as well as to cut down on inefficiencies. I know some councils, they love to have their membership drives and want to do it to the letter of whatever form they have in front of them. Frankly, I don't care how you get a member to join. If you're successful, great. And then tell me about it, because I want to know about it so I can tell other councils. So sharing our knowledge with each other instead of always trying to stick to a sheet of paper that has been handed down for years on checking off the boxes and saying, yep, we did what we were supposed to on trying to recruit people. But that's what most of my career has been as well. Whether doing actuarial pricing with a lot of numbers or even consulting today, I build templates. I figure out ways to improve that process so that I can hand that off to someone else and tackle the next problem. And that's what I hope to be able to do in the diocese, as well as being able to grow our membership and in faith. I believe Chris has the same ideas there too, is that we want to be able to grow in faith. I mean, we do a lot of work, but it's not just works. Our works are grounded in faith. And that's similar for those of you who follow the liturgy hours or do that. That is in tonight's evening prayer as well. Show me your faith, or I don't know the exact word, but what good is faith without works? So I want to bring that to our diocese, and I believe I have those qualifications as well. Thank you, worthy State Treasurer.
Okay, good. Thank you, Brett. Okay, before we go to the next question, I just want to remind everybody, we're not going to open this up to questions from the audience because of this, the system that we're using. It's just kind of chaotic. So if you have a question, something pops up while you're listening to them speak, text or email Chris, and we'll see if we can work that in.
Excuse me, Jeff.
Yeah.
They can also use the chat feature also.
Okay, good.
Yep.
All right, next question, and we're gonna go back to Brett, and we're gonna let Brett answer that first. What ideas do you have to instill a sense of responsibility in the district deputies, grand knights, and other leaders that come with their position?
Worthy State Treasurer. Idea is to instill responsibility into our district deputies, grand knights, and other leaders. First, I've always believed in leading by example. And I still do that today in my council, even though I'm not grand knight or in any of those roles, but I show up and I do whatever is asked of me. Now, sometimes I have an assigned task where it's been mine for a while and I'm willing to show someone else how to do it. But if someone needs to move a propane tank and I'm there, I'm going to help move it. So being a leader for any organization, whether it's your parish council, your KFC council, the state council, work needs to get done and I'm there to do work. I will lead through that first. I will remind our district deputies that they have such a responsibility as well. They were selected for that role to represent Supreme, and we need to be willing to get our hands dirty as well. Grand Knights, they're elected. They're elected by their members. They're, depending on whether it's a hall-based council or parish-based council, they're the leaders of their parish. They're the leaders of their council. They're trusted to do something. Let's make sure we're doing that. Let's make sure we're basing that on faith and growing so that, you know, next time someone drives by our church or our council hall, they know these men are Catholic. They are not just here to do social work. they're growing in their faith, and they're going to attract more people to join our order and more people to join in our faith. Where you state treasurer.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Okay, Chris, same question. I'll repeat that. What ideas do you have to instill a sense of responsibility in our district deputies, grand knights, and other leaders that come with their position?
Thank you. And I think the number one word that comes to mind is honor. You know, reestablishing that honor in that position and reminding them, as Brett mentioned, you know, they're either elected by their council members or appointed by somebody to be a leader. And you have to remind them that they gain that position, they have that honor of leading in that capacity. It's just constantly reminding them of the roles and responsibilities that come with that. And I've been fortunate to you know, read a book called Good to Great, and my philosophy is leading from that window mirror approach. If something's going really well, council's doing really well, I believe in looking through that window and realizing what either the grand knight or district deputy are teaming up to doing well, and continue to help them and give them praise for what they're doing. If something's not going well, then I will look in a mirror and look at myself and what I need to do as a more effective leader to help them come through whatever challenges they have and make sure that they're moving forward in the right direction. So I put that responsibility on myself, work with our state team if I have the pleasure to do so. And we may not have all the answers, but we'll work together as a team to find a way to figure it out and move forward in the right direction.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris. All right, next question. And we're going to start off with Chris now. Okay, we heard our state deputy talk about the virtual state convention. Now, for 2 years in a row, he's had the state convention planned to be live, and that's a pretty large event. So that's something that eventually is going to come with this office. So I'd like to know, what experience do you have in this overseeing large events? And it doesn't have to be through the Knights of Columbus. It could be in your personal life, you know, through your parish or whatever, through your job. But what experience you have in large events? Chris, you go first.
Yes, thank you. And I've had the experience growing up working with different communities and capacities with charitable events back home where we drew thousands into crowds over a weekend of fundraising to support our fire department and other activities in the community. I've got a chance to work with many different committees with our parish in that same function in festivals and activities. Back here in Columbus, I've actually had the responsibility of leading, as I mentioned earlier, our dinner dance auction with our parish. And it was a staple to our parish to have this function that usually required serving a 350 person capacity. So you have the get together, you have the meeting, you have the meal, you have the dance, you have the activities with the auction that go on with it, and coordinating and leading that event with crews, with hospitality, with hotels, with caterers. And I've also been fortunate to have a little bit of experience just helping out with the diocese, at the state level at the convention. And it's been a wonderful experience. But obviously I know I'm not done learning. So I'll continue to hopefully help those activities, and hopefully things change here soon that allows us to. And but I feel that I've gained a lot of experience and knowledge through those activities and understand what it takes and the dedication behind it to lead those and help make sure they're successful.
Okay, good. Thank you, Chris. Brett, same question. I'll repeat it. what experience do you have in overseeing large events? Again, doesn't necessarily have to be Knights of Columbus related.
Sure. Worthy State Treasurer, sure. I've been involved with a few state conventions in the program director role, but not nearly the same amount of involvement as the state officers are, or whoever the chairman is for that specific convention year. I failed to mention earlier when I was going through my qualifications, I also served as district master for a year, and having to organize the exemplification and everything that went with that and the hotel. At the parish level, though, I have been involved with our parish festival since about 2009 in the leadership roles. My involvement there started out with just volunteering for a booth to run a midway game for 2 hours, then taking over that for the whole weekend the following year, to, hey, we need someone to take care of running all of our volunteers. We have about 1,400 spots to fill for our festival over Labor Day weekend. I coordinated the signups of those volunteers from 2009 through 2013 and trained 2 different replacements until we finally got someone that was going to stick with it. In 2014, I co-chaired the festival as we found someone to take over my role. And the agreement was I would eventually be the chairperson, which I did in 2015 and 2016. That involves organizing everyone from getting permits from the city, getting security through the city and the township, having the person that deals with the ride contracts, person that orders food, setting up all of our electrical, setting up all of our midway game booths, person that orders all the rides, a lot of logistics on anything that we might want to change. I did that for those 2 years. And then since then, I've been working in our food court over the weekend, where I've been able to relax a little bit by just helping serve food the entire weekend, pretty much in the evenings. And that's my idea of resting, is being busy for 4 to 6 hours in a food court serving food during a festival. That's my experience there, and I know I have a lot more to learn as well, but I believe through observation, I can learn the other parts that are necessary for running a large event like a state convention. Worthy State Treasurer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Brett. Okay, next question, and we're going to start off with Brett again on this one. We have a number of struggling councils across the state of Ohio that are possibly on the verge of going, under or even inactive or something. What ideas might you have to help these struggling councils and to generate interest in the Knights of Columbus in their areas?
Sure. Worthy State Treasurer. I don't know where that echo is coming from, but I'll continue. I was fortunate as DD that I didn't have to deal with those. I had some pretty good councils, although 2 of them did have short discussions on wanting to merge with each other. So I'll draw from that experience on what I did. As I told them, first, I don't think that's a good idea. You're 2 fairly new councils. They both began with 14,000. So that gives you an idea of how new they are. They were ready to fold up or merge together. So I talked to them about the activities they can be doing. And they took heart to that they could actually do some of these, and started pushing them. I suggested, hey, instead of necessarily doing one of these membership drives, why don't you just focus on the activity instead of trying to get men to do the activities? Go do the activity and set up a KFC table and have someone there to talk about the nights when someone shows up. Right? Well, we throw up a table sometimes. I told them, now how about you just put the table there and have someone that knows about your council and what you're doing standing there ready to answer questions. They turned it around. They got Star Council. They're continuing to do well. I still see them sometimes. They show up at our fish fry this year. They're not able to do one this year for obvious reasons with COVID. So those discussions I would have are finding out what they've been doing. Every council is unique. So I want to find out what they're doing, what's going on at their parish that they could jump into? What could they do? I mean, I know councils in Columbus aren't going to be the same as a council in New Philadelphia, which is also in the Diocese of Columbus. Need to learn what's going on there and see if we can address their specific issues. And maybe someone needs to show up and just say, hey, you know what, I'll stand out here with you when you've got a recruitment table and help you. Or when you're running an event that you expect to have people show up at, stand there and help them. Or even not necessarily stand there at the table, but stand there and help them do their event. And just start chatting up with people about what the Knights of Columbus do and what their council is doing as well, to see if we can get more members and more families involved. We're the state treasurer.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Chris, same question. I'll repeat it. What ideas do you have to help struggling councils and to generate interest in the Knights of Columbus?
Thanks, Jeff. And I agree wholeheartedly that activity and faith building are great attributes that we need to push forward with, that remind not only our current members, but help new members understand that that's really what we're here for. And as Brett mentioned, there's challenges in every council, and those challenges may be different. But at the end of the day, it's our ability to drive through those and help our councils through those challenges. And I believe that being active is key. You know, if you have a trouble with even possibly gaining the support of even your parish priest, and we know that happens from time to time in councils, then be active in the community. We're here to serve our parishes and community and beyond. We can also partner with other councils. Sometimes by partnering with other councils, those neighboring councils can actually either help you and vice versa, you're helping them. But we are a brotherhood, and that's the key thing to remember and help drive with these councils, that we're going to strive to help each other, and we have to. If we don't, that's why these councils either struggle or fail, is they're left by themselves. So we need to work as brothers and help each other out. And I think if we can live by our faith and action, truly as what it really means, is by going out there and doing these activities, because men want to either join to strengthen their faith or to help others. And if we don't present that, then people are not going to want to be active and join our orders. So that's what I would try to promote.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Just reminded me of a point I made all the time when I was running for state warden. People don't join councils or join the Knights of Columbus to pay dues, go to meetings, and sell tickets. They want to do something. You're right. All right. I've gotten through about half of my questions, and I don't want to be here all night and keep you guys here. I have a couple of questions that were sent in. I'm gonna go to them, and let's cut the answers. I'm gonna do two questions. Let's cut these to about 2 minutes, just real briefly, I guess. First one is, when you guys are introducing yourself, you never talked a whole lot about your families in that. So you want to talk about your family a little bit? You're married, how long, kids, and that sort of thing. Chris, we'll let you answer that first.
Thank you. So I've been married to my wife for almost 12 years now. And one of the number one things that I considered when approaching being asked if it was something I wanted to explore was making sure I gained her support. And she is a very loving, supporting wife, and I couldn't do what I'm doing in Knights without her. I come from a large family, always inspired to be part of a large family, but unfortunately, the life chosen for me is we've been unable to have kids. So that's why I get so involved with the youth in our parish and help out in our community and try to be there for my nieces and nephews. It gives me a chance to provide that fatherly role in a different capacity. So, but I love my family. They've always been there for me. and I will strive to always be there for them. And that's just a little bit about us.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chris. Okay, Brett, same question. Tell us a little bit about your family life.
Sure. My wife Jean and I, we met on a Catholic website, catholicmatch.com. I was fortunate to find a woman of Catholic faith through there, also in Ohio. We've been married since May 16th, 2009, so we're coming up on 12 years as well. We have 2 children. Took us a while, and I certainly understand those kinds of difficulties. Our children, Augustine and Maria, are twins. They are 7 years old and in first grade at our parish school. When they can, they're able to help me at our parish fish fry, and we alternate weeks when they help me usher. I've had one in tow with me ushering at Mass since they were 2 weeks old. When I was able to bring them, I'd either be carrying them or walking with them. And just about a month ago, we got them back to being able to help with the collection, and they're able to do it on their own in their own aisle without too much guidance. I bring them along with me, and I am happy to share our Catholic faith with them and hope that they grow in that same love. I believe that's all I'm going to go over about with family, but so I pass worthy state treasurer.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Very good. Okay, and this last question, I'm going to try to make some sense of it, but it's probably a good point. I'm going to expand on it a little bit too. Okay, do you have a new vision? Yes, Brett, you're going to go answer this one first.
Okay.
Okay, do you have a new vision of the state council that you would like to see? And you know, you don't necessarily have to have a new vision you want to see. There could be something that you like already that you want to talk about that as well.
Sure, worthy state treasurer. I understand there are some things with the state officers and the offices that have to be done a certain way, and I get that. And I will learn those specific things, like how to run the cash bonanza, for example. I understand those have to be done a certain way, and you need to follow certain guidelines. What I would bring as a state officer is being more willing to show up and do what's needed at events. I understand that sometimes the officer, because, and Jeff, I've seen you do this too, is that you get stretched so much that you have to trust that the people you have on your team will do what needs to get done and be able to guide them through those things. As far as a vision though, I'd love to be able to stay involved with those getting hands dirty kind of work, while also leading men and families in that effort, both at the state level, but also at all of our local levels, as an example to grow all of our councils and parishes. Worthy state treasurer.
Thank you, Brett. Chris, same question. I'll repeat that. Do you have a new vision of the state council that you would like to see, or what do you already like about the state council that they're doing, I guess? Okay.
Yeah, I think there's, like Brett mentioned, there's a lot of things the state council does that's great. The activities we do to raise funds for charity, to help lead and organize councils. A lot of it, you know, I'm sure there's going to be things along the way that, being a previous continuous improvement guy in engineering, you're going to continue to try to find ways to just compound on that and improve things. But the one thing I'd like to see change is just sometimes we get complacent. So I guess the best way to say it. We say, oh, you got 5 to 10% of your council active. Well, that's pretty good. That's an average. I think the best thing as a state council we can do is try to figure out, how do we get the other 90, 95% active? Our councils really could do so much more and our state could be so much better, even if we just take a small fraction of that 95%. And I would want to strive to try to build regaining those to have that drive to get out there. And a lot of that's going to become to get us active again, as I mentioned earlier, get us more involved with our faith and build our faith activities and help those in charity. We got to get active. And if we do that, I think that's going to help get these others out of hiding and want to be more active in their community, and then grow them into the roles and responsibilities in the more activities. That's what I would like to see, is how do we get less complacent and drive to get more active?
Okay, very good. 2 good points. Thank you, guys. I'm going to cut the questions off now because we're already getting close to an hour here, and I don't want to keep everyone very late. We talked about quite a few things. Oh, I just wanted to comment, on this new vision of the state council. I'll tell you what, my eyes really were opened up when I became state warden, and I could talk for an hour on what the Ohio State Council and the Ohio Charity Foundation do as a whole. And it's just amazing. It just makes me so proud to be part of that. It just outstanding of all that we do for the state of Ohio and the 6 dioceses here in Ohio. So I'll leave it at that. We're going to conclude by letting each candidate summarize their positions, I guess, now, and do their best to sell you to vote for them. And we'll give each one 3 minutes. And Chris, I guess we're starting with you on this thing here. So I'll let you summarize your position and tell everybody why you would be a good choice for the state warden.
Or the state treasurer. Brothers, as you know, we are men who lead, serve, protect, and defend. And I understand this position does require leadership at another level of dedication and hard work that I've yet to see in positions I've had the pleasure of serving in our order. But I had, with understanding that, I have the greatest respect for those who currently serve our order at all levels, especially those as state officers. And if I have the pleasure to be chosen, I will honor and have that respect, learn from them, solicit their advice, strive to combine my experience at this position and serve both the Knights and our parish communities at a different capacity. I would love to have that opportunity to work in another capacity to help my brothers and strengthen our order into the future. I think we all know that it's hard to say what's going to happen or what we're going to do today to make a difference. I think the pandemic has taught us we can't really say what's going to happen now because the future, we don't know, it's an unknown. And from 5 years from now, what may work today may not work then. But our passion to work together, to talk to each other, to learn from one another, and to help each other. We need to be reminded that we're all brothers in Christ. And if we can accomplish things as a team, if we can work together as a team, we can accomplish anything. And our faith and our activities are going to be key. And I'll work to help the order build upon all the great stuff we're already doing. And I just really thank everybody for their time this evening. I know it's not the most opportune way to get to know somebody, but if there's anything you'd like to ask or talk about more, I'm always here. As I always say to my team in my professional workplace, it's an open door policy. If you ever need something, feel free to come in, feel free to call me. anytime. And I'm a hands-on person. I like to be there to go out there and help them. I got to change my clothes at the office, get on the floor, get on the production floor, help install equipment. If we're short on manpower, whatever's needed to get the job done, that's my mentality. That's how I was raised, growing up in that small farm community in Northwest Ohio. I thank my father, thank the Lord every day for all the experiences I gained, understanding what hard work can accomplish. And that's what I'll try to bring forth in this role, is to continue that hard work and work ethic, to strive and to try to make things, continue on to improve and make things better than what they already are.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Chris. Okay, Brett, same question. We'll give you a chance to give your conclusion and tell us why you want to be state warden and why we should elect you.
Worthy State Treasurer. I don't know if it's necessarily a want, but I think I've been called to do this. Over my years, I went over how I progressed through the chairs. I made those jumps to the executive officer of the council and the assembly without having experience at that second in charge level. I did that through observation. I work at many activities that our councils and parish does. I showed up, asked what needed to get done, and I took the job that they gave me. After a while of just showing up and doing what I need to get done right away, they put me on something else because they trusted me. I eventually gained the trust to be able to do that as a district deputy. No one really took me under their wings. I just took off with it, both or as faithful navigator, as grand knight, and then as district deputy. To some extent, I had my predecessor, the late Chris Damo, as district deputy guiding me until he passed away. I imagine if I were elected state warden, the other state officers would guide me and give me that experience to learn from, to be successful as a state officer as well, where I can draw from what I've already done, but also learn from them on what it takes to be a successful state officer. I imagine I'll be able to do much better with someone actually helping me rather than having to do it just based on my own observations. I've won the awards that many councils and district deputies strive to get. So having a little bit of mentorship from the other state officers will certainly help me continue the Diocese of Columbus and hopefully the state of Ohio in doing well as well. We have a goal of growing in our faith, attracting others. It's not just about getting the men that are in our parishes to join and get involved. It's about attracting other people back to the church. I think the second largest religion in the country is former Catholics. We need to attract those people back. We need to attract others to the church as well. And through our faith and doing the works of God, we can do that. And I hope to lead the diocese as well as the state in meeting those goals. Worthy State Treasurer.
Okay, thank you, Brett. Thank you both, gentlemen. They both presented themselves very well. I tell you what, it's going to be a difficult decision to make on who you want to vote for. I know it's even more difficult when you can't meet them and talk to them face to face and shake their hand and see them look them eye to eye. But that's the hand we've been dealt. It's the hand they've been dealt. So we all have to take that and run with it and deal with that. Thank you all for being with us tonight. I want to thank the two candidates for not only declaring their candidacy, but being with us here tonight and taking this on. So I wish you both the best of luck in your campaigns. I know you have a couple other forums that you're going to be doing like this. So hopefully this is been a good experience for the both of you. If there's anything, like I told you both before, if there's anything I can help you with, you have any questions, give me a call, use me. I'm here. I'll be glad to help you all that I can. Again, thank you, everybody. Let's close with a Hail Mary. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of your womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen. St. Patrick, pray for us. Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Chris, for running this tonight. Did an outstanding job. With that, I guess we'll sign off. Good luck, everyone.
Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, brothers.